Hello everyone, this is White Wolf, and I wanted to talk about this topic of divine self-love because in our lives we try to seek validation outside of ourselves to find the love or the fulfillment within ourselves, or wanting a deep state of purification, or wanting more fulfilling relationships. But sometimes we try to look for it outside of our own divine source. And one of the things that I've realized on the journey is that nobody else is going to give you the most love and the most fulfillment. Is having that walk with the Creator, having that communication with the Creator, having that communication with the divine source that you are, and also communicating that with Spirit and allowing Spirit to move through you, and allowing Spirit to allow you to empower and motivate and to follow your heart's desire that aligns you to your gut instincts, which aligns you to being more thinking of your own perceptions, thinking of your own thoughts, thinking of yourself as a divine being, as consciousness, as energy. Divine self-love is something that we are able to give ourselves. It's a motivation, it's a sense of empowerment, it's a sense of fulfillment within ourselves, and it's the ability to soak everything in as source energy, to bring our will back into reinforcement and bringing it back into alignment with who we really are as a spiritual entity, and allowing ourselves to kind of culminate and understand that divine self-love leads us to the most fulfillment within our own direction of our own lives. So understanding this is that nobody can take away your divine self-love, and nobody's going to give you the divine self-love. But it's the acceptance of the divine self-love, looking at yourself as mirroring back everything that you want and represent and love, and the fulfillment that swells and overwhelms your presence. So the presence of awareness allows you to have love within yourself, meaning that you love the parts that seem unforgivable, you love the past that seems very unforgivable, you love everything about yourself that you don't even think that you want to love. This enables your new personality traits. This allows you to develop new thoughts, new emotions, new sense perceptions, but also it allows you to accept your higher self's wisdom when you have divine self-love, because you're releasing and transmuting energy and letting go of energy to enable that self-love within your life so that you can impart that to another person. So when we have self-love and we have self-care and we have divinity within ourselves, then we are able to have authority. But then we're able to have structure within ourselves. So loving yourself is giving yourself permission to be divine. It means you're giving yourself motivation. It means that you compliment yourself. It means that you have belief systems that actually correlate with the way that you think and perceive, and it actually leads you to be a more positive person. It allows you to be more positive because every time that you're negative, you have a discontent with yourself. You have a disrespect towards yourself. And if you put yourself down, most of the time we believe it. We believe the thoughts that we're giving ourselves. And every time that we do this, when we choose not to love the things that are unlovable, when we choose to love the things that we want to transmute and we want to heal within ourselves, every time we choose to love another person, the same way that we want to be loved, the same way we want to carry that love. So therefore, when we choose to love ourselves, we're choosing to have a healthy source of being of service, giving our heart to God, giving our life to God, giving everything up that is limiting us and putting a false expectation of what we want to become in this moment will allow you to stop everything in this moment. Don't forget yourselves. Don't forget to mirror back what you want, but look at yourself today and find something to love. It's kind of like looking into the mirror and not looking away, because every time that you do that, you're choosing to take accountability and you're trying to assess everything that is there that needs to be cleared within yourself. So there's a healthy form of reflection. So when you look at that person and you're able to love that person and accept that person, because then you're able to really love yourself. But you're able to sacrifice everything that you don't like about yourself, and then there's this self-development within yourself that has your personality traits, your emotions, everything that you attach yourself to or identify yourself with, and you lose the identification of the lower self. But you have to love the person that you once were in order to love the person that you are now. You have to love the person that you are now in order to love the person that you're going to become. You have to love the person that gets angry. You have to love the person that has anxiety. You have to love everything that you experience with misalignment. Because divine self-love is the truth that sets you free, which gives you that sense of purification within yourself. It means you're choosing to love yourself and you're choosing to see something more inside of yourself. Because sometimes you can see yourself and you're not able to see past what you don't like. So if you can find something inside of yourself that allows you to really love who you are in this moment, that gives you that sense of continuity, that gives you that sense of divinity, that gives you that sense of like, oh, I'm finding something to live for. I'm finding something within myself that gives me ammunition so that I can choose to love myself in this moment. Divine self-love allows you to set yourself free because you have your eyes on what you want to love instead of looking for something to be negative about, or looking something to be bashful about, or looking something to be negative towards, or putting yourself down and then repeating the pattern and repeating something within your life that continues to limit you or keeps you in a debilitating state or makes you impatient or makes you angry. So when we have divine self-love, we're choosing to be led by our heart. We're choosing to be led by the divine source that creates us. But we're also seeing that the Shekinah glory of God is inside of ourselves. Meaning that whatever is here is presently in its atomic energy, its psychic atomic energy within ourselves, and seeing that purification and that spiritual mass within ourselves, and then seeing that we're being led by that light, having the obedience of that light, having the obedience of God to go through us and listening to the whispers of Spirit will allow us to take everything into consideration, that even our toxicity is actually the thing that brings us closer to the light. Every single time that you see yourself in a much different light in reflection, emotion, attachment, belief system, every time you look at yourself differently, you're transmuting and transforming yourself and allowing yourself to let go of something. So every time that you have self-love within yourself, you are letting go of something. So every time that you love something that you don't want to accept, that means you have forgiveness for it. And you also forgive yourself so that you can let go of what you are separating yourself from. So we're choosing to not necessarily burn impurities, but we're separating ourselves so that we're having a sense of continuity and having the sense of separation within ourselves so that we can identify ourselves in a much different standpoint. So I don't think it's like a barrier or burning off impurities. It's releasing impurities so that we're able to transmute them and transform the impurities that we're experiencing. So because if we go about it and we keep returning it and we keep going on in this revolving door or keeping the same patterns within our own lives, then we're not actually changing and growing and having accountability towards it. So every time that we have accountability within ourselves and finding the direction of understanding who you are and what you want to be, who you are is already accepting of you. So accepting yourself and giving yourself that self-love and that self-gratitude and that appreciation within yourself is going to allow you to love yourself even deeper. Because you have to tap into gratitude and have a vibrational attitude and have belief systems that support you in order to really love yourself. And you lose all sense of justification because right or wrong isn't coming into the forefront. You and yourself are going to love what you deem unlovable. Meaning that when you choose to forgive yourself and let go of all the burdens of the world, let go of all the things that you've done in your past, and find that sense of redemption within yourself that will allow you to accept yourself in this moment and see yourself as purity. And when you see yourself as purity, it makes you feel so much better because you're not holding any baggage and you're not trying to justify it or see like, oh, if I change this, if I did this little action, then it would change the outcome. Everything that we experience in our lives really tries to get us to reflect and actually look at it and actually take accountability so that we're able to have a sense of release and healing and fulfillment within ourselves. So every time that we do this, every time that we release more into our lives, but we also are not withholding any manifestations or wanting to attract relationships that fulfill us. Because the relationship that we have with the Shekinah glory, with God's source energy, and having that direct relationship be the most important thing within your direction, within your life, that will always be the divine self-love that sets you free, because you're not looking for the love outside of yourself. You're not seeking love from your partner. You're not seeking love from cheap thrills. You're not seeking love from people, places, and things anymore. But the love that you're giving not only to yourself, but you're giving the divine a chance to give you allowance and give you a breath of fresh air so that there is no discomfort and there's no limitation right there. So it's not debilitating and it's not weighing you down and it's not making you feel like you're going back into specific patterns. And then you're basically giving yourself a get out of jail free card, because now you're not condemned by all the other stuff in the world. Meaning that you're in your own world, you're in your own world of imagination, you're in your own world of purification. And now what is just left there is you and God, you and Source, you in alignment, you and the divine source that directs you and calls you to the path every single day. So every time that you let go of something that you're not letting go of, or something that you're admitting to yourself and taking accountability, ownership is the most powerful thing. And it's something that I deal with on a regular moment-to-moment basis. It's just accountability, owning it, feeling into your vibration, feeling into your love, feeling into that distinction of wanting to really love who you are. Love your flaws, love your messiness, love your anger, love everything about you that you deem unlovable. Because when you do that, then you're choosing to really love yourself. You're choosing to accept yourself beyond your own personal biases. It means that you're not trying to justify something. It means that you're not trying to be defensive about it either. But it means that this divine self-love will always set you free. And the only reason why I'm doing this is because my guides wanted me to. But I really wanted to do this live, and we're going to do some healing energy later, is that we all want love. We all want love from others. We all want love from the world. We all want love within our jobs, within our lives, within everything that we want to do while we're creating. But nobody can give us that love except Source. But you are Source manifested in human form, so why don't today be the day that you give yourself that sense of love and forgiveness and grace and let go of the past. Let go of the chains that are binding you, that are limiting you, that are putting you in a box, that are putting you in a category, that are lumping you in to what you are. And just let it go. Just be yourself and love everything so that you can let it go, that you can move on with life. And that's what's beautiful. If you give yourself gratitude, if you give yourself appreciation of yourself, if you give yourself that vulnerability and that compassion within yourself to So every time that you do this, every time that you choose to let go of what you presently think that you're not going to be delivered from, you're giving yourself grace. When you choose to give yourself grace, you're choosing to give yourself understanding. You're choosing to give yourself an understanding of what you need to assess within your life. You're assessing everything. You're not running away from it. You're acknowledging it when you're giving yourself divine self-love. It means you're acknowledging, you're taking accountability, you're trying to understand, like, why do I feel this way? Or why, when I get in a relationship, this always happens. Because I feel like if I didn't love myself enough, then I wouldn't be giving this message or doing this message or even doing the things that I do on a regular moment-to-moment basis. So if someone hears this and they're like, wow, I can love myself, I can compliment myself, I can empower myself, I can look myself in the mirror and actually accept that person. And when you're able to do that, that gives you a moment to heal, a moment to realize, and a moment to develop the sense of sense and sensibility, because you're finally not being reactatory, you're finally being proactive towards your life. So every time that you love yourself, you make the choice, you give yourself permission to love yourself. Every time that you do that, you are tapping into your heart. You're tapping into God's love. You're tapping into everything that is holy, that is wondrous, that is loving of source energy. And you're giving it back to the divine so that they can move on your behalf, so that you can release and heal and let go. Because what does divine self-love do? It gives you worthiness. It's giving you a moment to be worthy of everything that you want, everything that you crave, everything that inspires you, everything that motivates you, that feels like it's carrying you. And we don't want to feel like we're doing a trust fall and falling flat on our back. We want to feel like we're being carried by the divine. And sometimes we can feel as if we are carrying so much weight within ourselves that we are not able to accept the divine, because if we have so many blockages or so many things within our space, it's not allowing us to radiate from our electromagnetic kinetic source energy field so that we're able to be more interwoven and interconnected. So sometimes not releasing something or not loving yourself or not forgiving yourself could be the very thing that withholds stuff within your life. And it's happened to me time and time again. And one of the things I think we need to understand is that we are perfection, but we don't have to be a perfectionist. You were already given grace when you were incarnated on this planet. So it doesn't mean that you have to go after grace, or you have to chase grace, or feel like you have to earn grace, or feel like you have to do everything that's in your power to find grace within your life. It means that it's already been given to you. So the one thing is to not judge ourselves, is to not judge who we are, is to not judge other people. And it's to really kind of reinforce the understanding of divine self-love is the things that give us the riches of life. Because we're choosing to love something that's more important than ourselves, but we're also choosing to love ourselves so that we can move on with our lives. Meaning that we're not carrying any more baggage anymore, any longer. You are severing the tie with past lifetimes, with karmic imbalances when you do this. You are saying that I am the light I am. I am the light I am. I am the love that I am seeking. I am the consciousness that I am seeking. I am the love and the light and the source of creation that generated me, that loved me, that nurtured me, that gave me grace and understanding and wisdom so that I was able to carry the weight of the future. So it's kind of eliminating less resistance within yourself when you choose to have divine self-love. Less resistance, not fighting yourself, not fighting the divine, not fighting your guides, even though I've done it. So don't think like, oh, this guy doesn't fight his guides. I do. Sometimes I have an argument with God. And sometimes God wants you to say, like, what the fuck, man? What the hell? How am I supposed to love myself if this isn't happening, or that isn't happening, or this hasn't happened yet? I haven't manifested this. You said this like 3 weeks ago. But sometimes it's the divine kind of wants you to say, like, hey, I need you to fucking move on my behalf. I need you to help me. And I need you to guide me and teach me and just love me. But then you kind of change it and you're like, oh, I need to love myself so that the divine knows that I'm trying to motivate myself, empower myself, and release more within to my existence. So sometimes it's just that simple step of clarity. And sometimes you can feel like absolute crap for an exact moment. You can feel like absolute shit. Your thoughts or everything is just going haywire. You're not firing on all cylinders. You're impatient or whatever. And sometimes the divine just steps in and just kind of reflects to you and gives you prophetic visions and gives you intentions and also gives you realizations and reflections on your path to kind of let you know like everything's just going to be okay. It's just our humanity that sometimes we struggle with. It's our physical sometimes that we struggle with within our lives. It's not even the non-physical half of the time. It's just our humanity that we sometimes struggle with. And it just gets in the way. And it's just giving us a sense of a purified ego. You know, a sense of understanding. And if you don't get anything from this live, and while my leg is completely asleep, if you don't get anything from this live, the one thing that you can do is just say that I love myself to the point of where everything that I deem unlovable, unforgivable, or unjustifiable, I choose to penetrate that distortion. And I choose today to love myself as I am so that I can release more within to my life. When you say that, when you love everything about yourself, all of our toxins, because we always talk about shadow work and darkness and toxicity. Sometimes it's just the very fact that you admit something or hold yourself accountable or ownership or taking more time to soak. And that's what's hard about creation or delving more into your consciousness, more into yourself, is that every single day you have to take accountability of yourself. It's not anybody else, it's just ourselves at the end of the day in source. So since you're the only person on this live, which is fine, I don't care if there's only 1 or 2 people, we're going to do some healing energy today for divine self-love. So feel free to receive this and also book private sessions, guys. If you guys see this on YouTube, I do have a 1-hour session special for $100, 2 hours for $200. And I'll try to go live to doing readings, but we're going to do some healing energy. So if you'd like to stay on and receive this, feel free to do so. In this moment, receive this healing energy of divine self-love, of divine self-preservation, and allow ourselves to do the Kundalini energy so that we're able to release any toxicities, any self-judgment, and releasing the very fact that you don't want to forgive yourself in this moment. Everything that you deem unlovable, unlikable, just the worst thing ever, see it as beauty. See your messiest moments as clarity. And as long as you have your eyes directly on love, then you'll allow yourself to transmute that negative energy, that distortion, that illusion. And every time that you do this, what happens is that you change the narrative of your life. You change the direction of your life. You change the people, the appearances, the manifestations. You change everything because you're choosing to be led by love. That will bring you back into alignment. That will be the truth that sets you free, is that divine self-love here and now. Because that's going to be the only thing that brings you will. That is going to be the only thing that brings you the unction of that authority of God's source energy and the great I am back into alignment, which is giving you power. But with great power comes great responsibility and accountability and obedience. But sometimes it just takes a little bit of consistency to be that mirror to yourself. To look yourself in the mirror and see the eyes of God. And that you don't have to set the record straight. You don't have to justify whatever you did in the past. You don't have to look back on moments and feel like you could have done better or handled it much differently. But in this moment, you're giving yourself grace. Allow the divine to give you grace. Allow the divine to give you release. And allow the divine to overwhelm your heart. And just be filled with that love. Be filled with that power. And know that it never fails you when you choose to love yourself, because it will enable you to love other people the same way you want to be loved. To be of service in the way that other people want you to be of service. To show up to your life as if you're meant to be there, because you are supposed to be here, because you exist. And you can even put your hands out here and feel as if the Apostle Paul or Jesus are holding your hands. That whatever happened in your life, whether you were a child, mistakes, things that felt like it was so hard to just let go of that and to generate a different feeling that has a different meaning, that has a different attachment. And detach yourself from those past moments. And just allow yourself to be in this present moment, here and now. And that nobody can take away this divine self-love from you. That you can just say that I love myself. I love my impurities. I love the very fact that I went through all that I went through so that I can feel this love today. I love all of my moments where I was messy, where I was chaotic, where I was crazy, because it gave me clarity. It gave me reflection. And how much love that you are able to receive is the amount of love that you're able to give. Just receive the love. Be set free. And everything in your life will have a reset button. It will feel like everything is just resetting itself. And it's just so beautiful because it just gives you that release. Just let go. Let go even further. And just let go to the point where you gain your will and your power back within yourself. Get your passion back, get your fire back, get everything back to yourself. And just know that nobody can take that power away from you. It is yours to do what you want with it. And every time that you choose divine self-love, you are making a statement to the universe. You're sending those signals, and you're just kind of letting everybody know. I resonate with what I resonate with. I love what I love. I am passionate about the things that I'm passionate about. And I am my own source of energy. I am the oracle of love, light, and wisdom. And I choose to love the God that is inside of me and all of the hearts of the universe, here and now. Everybody take one last deep breath. And so it is. Thank you guys for, taking part of that. And divine self-love can sometimes be hard because of the very fact that it forces us to have healthy reflection. Meaning that we reflect back everything, and everything is reflected back to us. So every time that we're living, every time that we're growing, every time that we're coming back into balance, we have everything reflected back to us, and every time I give one of these messages, I get everything reflected back to me. So, divine self-love is making the choice to love yourself as you are. Not who you're going to be, not yourself in 2 minutes, not even you in your most chaotic moment, but loving yourself through all of your moments of life. Rather it's struggle, rather it's suffering, rather it's anything that we experience, rather it's challenges. Love yourself all the time, even through all of that. Because that allows you to give yourself grace. And then God will always give you grace on your behalf. And will always help you through it and give you allowance. And sometimes it's just the ability to ask, and sometimes it could be cussing at God. Like, move my fucking behalf, God, I don't claim to have all the answers. I don't claim to have all the answers, but I do know that when you choose to love yourself, you choose to love your life, you choose to love everything about yourself, that doesn't allow you to run away, but to just accept it and go through it and experience the sense of being delivered from whatever you're experiencing when you give yourself that sense of divine self-love. Because it will never be given to you from another person. The only person that really gives you that love or that energy is God's source energy. And one of the things that I was told to do was to soak Soak in that love, soak in that glory, soak in that grace, and just soak in every single moment of this present moment and allow it to overwhelm your presence, overwhelm your awareness. And just allow it to be the thing that breaches the gap so that you can have a breakdown that turns into a breakthrough. Then that means that you're having that healthy inseparability within oneself. And nobody is able to really give that divine self-love unless you choose in this moment to say, I accept myself as I am. I accept myself as love. I accept myself as energy. And I accept myself through all the moments of my life. And there you're set free. So thank you for this live. Thank you for partaking in it. You guys can book private sessions. I do have a private session special for 1 hour for $100. And I will be trying to go live maybe tomorrow or later on tonight to do readings and healing. So thank you guys. God bless. And namaste.